So
Hmm.
actually, you live in a country. If you think you live in a corrupt place, let me remind you, in my not particularly informed opinion, but there's some chance I'm right, he could have an auction for pardons. Publicly do it. And you couldn't do shit about it.
Okay, now for our listener questions. Jonathan in Winchester, New Hampshire, talks about Ms. Ben, candidate in that 7th Congressional District, says she hurt her chances by having AOC and Kamala Harris campaign for her. Bringing in AOC and Harris just motivated Republicans to turn out on Election Day. Neither of them could win that district. So why did she do that, James?
It's just who she is. I mean, you know, somebody, I'll give her credit. She's consistent. She was a completely embraced identity politics. She completely embraced the cultural, I don't know what, to the point of attacking goddamn country music, which I tell people is like, you know, living in the Nashville area, not like in country music, is like in Mardi Gras, not like in tits. They go together. So I'm sure she's a perfectly nice progressive person, but I think they fall under that convoluted feeling that there's dormant progressive cells out there that are ready to be awakened by the trumpet of true progressivism. And they were awakened, all right. It just wasn't our people, it was theirs.
That was the McGovern campaign mantra in 1972. It's been around for a
Yeah,
while.
actually, there were some people with him in that, maybe.
James, the second, I'm going to combine two questions for the
Right?
second one.
I know Winchester, Virginia, and Winchester, Kentucky. I do not know Winchester, New Hampshire.
This is Winchester, Tennessee.
Oh, Winchester, Tennessee. I don't know it either. So,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Yeah. Well, our second question, one you know, and the other I'm not sure. One is Mike in Uncastville, Connecticut. I don't know that. And Mike asks if it's time to amend the Constitution to remove presidential pardons. Tim in New Haven says victims of the convicted scammers and thieves Trump has pardoned who were due restitution are now left out in the cold. When are we going to start hearing their stories? It could make really potent ad campaigns. Number one, Mike, no, as much as Trump has abused the pardon power, most pardons over the course of our history have had justification, and I can't see a way just to remove it. But I think that Tim in New Haven is absolutely right. What great, I mean, just put this scumbag from Honduras, 400 tons of cocaine that he smuggled into the United States. Just think how many kids overdosed or died from that, and the crypto crooks that he's pardoning. So I think they make from great ads, and that's what Democrats ought to do.
Okay, this is something I'm getting wound up about, and understand exactly what I'm saying. Selling pardons, the Supreme Court. Actually, I believe this to be the case, and we can ask some of our legal beagles, that if Trump held an auction for a pardon, and say, I have an auction. Hey, I got a guy right here. He's sentenced 75 years in penitentiary. He's, I don't know, dealt in drugs. You just named the most horrible person you can. And the auction went off for $33.5 million. You could not do anything about it. The Supreme Court says that he can't commit that crime because the pardon power is in the purview of his duties. So actually, you live in a country. If you think you live in a corrupt place, let me remind you, in my not particularly informed opinion, but there's some chance I'm right, he could have an auction for pardons. Publicly do it. And you couldn't do shit about it. And I'm a big believer, look, it's hard to amend the Constitution. You need 2/3 of Congress, 3/4 of states. Whole hearings. That people can get more and more outraged. Don't say it's the pardon power. He can't commit a crime. It's clearly his thing. When you get back, whole hearings. Tell people, and you know how this happens. All right. And no, don't let this go. Again, I'm on this huge soap opera of, oh, don't look back, let's look forward. No, we have to look back. And we're going to have to look back at this period of massive corruption illustrated by the power and the goddamn Supreme Court, which is, in my opinion, the center of corruption in the United States. It was certainly allowing corruption. defending corruption.
Well, that 24 decision certainly was an enabling one.
It's unbelievable.
James, Dr. Sue in Cumberland, Rhode Island, she
Right.
identifies herself as Dr. Sue, says,
Right.
when will the Democratic Party learn that a campaign slogan is like a joke? If you need to explain it, it's not working.
All right, Doctor Sue. I love Rhode Island. Some of my best friends I've ever had are from there. But slogans can actually be valuable. All right, and the idea is in politics is to say as little, as much as you can while using the fewest possible words. And slogans are like anything else. Yeah, some of them are a lot better than others. But I don't think that's our problem. Is we ought to be looking for more concise ways to say things that give us entry to people paying more attention to us. So Dr. Sue, as much as I love you say, and as much as I think you're a great person, I don't agree with your question.
No, but James, I think what she's saying is if you need to explain it, if you have to explain what it means, it's not going to work. I mean, people ought to see it or read it and know what it means.
Okay, all right. It's a little more sophisticated than I gave you credit for, but you're right. Yeah, I think to Dr. Sue, a good slogan would be something that people knew what you were talking about right out of the chute. I misconstrued your question.
We're back with you, Dr. Sue.
We're back with you.
Oh boy, this is good. Riyadh in Oslo, Norway. I don't remember a Norwegian question in a while, but
I bet you know how dark it gets in Oslo right now. How early? Our friend, he knows. I mean, great city. What a country, beautiful place. I've been there. But anyway, let's see what our good friend from
one of my best friends, a woman who used to work for me, married to
immigration from Scandinavia. Don't come here, dude. Stay where you are.
One of my best.
I promise you, you got less corruption, better access to health care, everything else. No wonder you don't come. As long as this guy's here, you know, maybe we are the shithole country.
Well, my former assistant, married a Norwegian, and she says it's great over there, but if you want to ski, you got to get up early. Anyway, Rihad asks, what does it reveal about the current U.S. administration when it portrays Somalia, a nation often described as failed, as more frightening than China, Russia, or America's own affordability crisis? And his cabinet responds with applause. I would also throw in North Korea there, too. Listen, if he went and said, think of the most unimaginable, worst thing you can imagine, and this cabinet would respond with applause. Because if they don't respond with applause, they're gone. They're a bunch of simpering sycophants, and that's all they do. And you're right. I mean, he's picking on Somalia because there's a problem with some Somalia refugees in Minneapolis, and it's racial. It's racist. And that's who Trump is.
So my understanding of the reason that the Minneapolis area has a heavy Somalian population is this, that it's also a very Lutheran place. And actually somebody picked up the goddamn New Testament and read it. And these deeply devout Minnesotans went to Somalia and said, hey, these are our brothers and sisters, and bought an enormous of them to the Minneapolis area and to Minnesota. I think they're to be congratulated. And by the way, I was up in Minneapolis this summer for Paul Begala's son's wedding. I was waited on by Somalians. I was driven by Somalians. I came into contact with them a lot, and I found them to be utterly charming, wonderful, beautiful people. And I think if you talk to the average person in Twin Cities, they would say that, look, this has brought a lot of good to our city. I really do. And, that's the trouble with being a good Christian. Sometimes you actually read what you're supposed to do. And, well, that shit, a lot of people don't like that. You're actually supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. That's actually that's part of the deal. Okay. It just is.
Yeah.
I give credit to these religious people in Minnesota. They actually read the thing and acted on it.
Yeah, I could agree. There are some bad apples are bad apples everywhere. There's some bad things that happen, but the to slur an entire
You think there no
community
bad
and
white people out there? Shit.
right, right.
Right, man.
I mean that's to say, for instance, that Christian nationalist who killed that state legislator in Minnesota. Let's get rid of all Christian nationalists. I haven't heard Trump say that.
You have to understand. I've said this before. Let me say it again. It is Lindsey Graham said he is in the Nazi suck wing of the Republican Party. You understand? There is a pro-Nazi wing, and they feel like they can't win without him. Trump feels
That's
like
true.
he has to appeal to this because it's an integral part of his voting constituency. And over the next year, we got to dig down to just how much a part of that constituency is within the Republican Party. I suspect that they understand that. Well, we got to have these people. I can't say anything bad about
Yeah.
David Duke. Shit, I need
Yeah.
David Duke's voters. I'm completely open to that explanation.
James Emily in Marshall, Texas, says, how can we finally convince the American people that we're all being played for suckers when Trump's income has increased 1,600% in 2025? Any hope for the emoluments clause? What do we do?
We have people know this is going on. They don't like it. They're losing. We have to get power back. And when we do, we have to use this power to expose all of the ills that are being foisted on this country. And we have to think completely different. Okay, I've become, I'll make a confession, at my age, I've become radicalized. And I think I've become radicalized for a good reason. We're producing corruption, we're producing wealth stratification, we're producing everything that we shouldn't be doing. And we have to, we need a Democratic Congress that is aggressive and I want this Merrick Garland bullshit. Yeah, we're not looking back. Okay, I mean, this bullshit we had during the Obama administration that we're not going after them, these bankers. We're just going to kind of fix the problem. You can't fix the problem if you don't identify it in depth. Okay, and one big quality that you want in a Democratic candidate is somebody that will be ruthless. I mean, ruthless about accountability. And that's what young people care about. That's what everybody cares about. And we just let too much of this shit go by.
Yeah, we sure do. James, our next question is from Megan in Portland, Oregon, another city that's gotten a bum rap. It's a fabulous
Yeah, it's a
city.
great
It
place.
really is.
Yeah, what?
Megan asks, what can be done if Trump successfully prevents the Democrats from winning in 2026 through voter suppression or declares their win to be invalid in some way? Megan, sadly, that is not a ridiculous question. He will do anything to stay in power. There's a pretty interesting piece by former Congressman Steve Israel who talks about the simple way Trump could steal the midterms. I think with the good lawyers we have, that can be prevented. But understand, there's nothing they will not do to prevent either the House and Senate, or much less both, turn Democratic. Because if they do, then some of these people are going to be subpoenaed. They're going to be, some of this information is going to come out, and it'll be devastating because, as James and I have said, this is a thoroughly corrupt administration. So I just would say vigilance and get great lawyers and work hard on it starting right now.
Prepare to storm the barricades. Understand what I'm saying. Start preparing because they're going to try. And hopefully we can prevent this, But one of the things that they have to know is the public is not going to stand for this. All right. In Portland, you live in a great place. I've been there numerous times. I love that. I love that bookstore. I think it's called Powell's or something. I hope it's still there. For God's sake, they're closing anything so goddamn bad. And I love their whole food truck culture. It's right down that road. It's a great city, but start organizing now and let them know because they don't let them know that if they try to do this, that you're not going to stand for it. And
I'm so damn old, James. I still stay at the Benson Hotel. But
There you go.
anyway, our final question is it picks up on something we alluded to earlier. It's from Rob in Rosemont, Pennsylvania. We're getting a lot of Rosemont questions. He says, listening to the way Tom Cotton excused and even lauded the second strike on the two unarmed boat survivors was nauseating. Will he get a pass? Is there any price to pay for complicity in what looks like a war crime?
Well, first of all, Tom Cotton is a highly educated man. Tom Cotton knows it. And not unlike Pete Edgesmith, who was just a drunk fucking fool. Okay. He's got that. He's got that excuse. He's just a stupid, uncompetent man, that doesn't have much accomplishment, that is a well known drunk, is not what you'd call a family values kind of guy at all, who's boastful, who's just not much of a person. I don't have an excuse for Tom Cotton. Tom Cotton, if this republic fails, listen to me, it is going to fail because of people like Tom Cotton, who actually should know better. It's not going to fail people like Pete Edgesmith, who don't know his ass from a hole in the ground. Tom Cotton knows better. He's doing this kind of shit, and he knows it's not right. And come on, man, wake the fuck up. You can get it. You can be purposeful. You can be proud. You can be provocative, and you can still get reelected in Arkansas. You don't need this shit, dude.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Listen, these questions are great. We didn't get to everyone because there's so many good ones. If we didn't get to yours this week, please send it again next week, and we'll try to get to it then. And thank you very much.